Member for Kamloops Centre.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, Mr. Speaker, this week we've discovered that the Premier has a very interesting grasp of versions of events with the Musqueam deal that keep unraveling every day on him. So let's recap. Over the last year and a half, this government has had to walk back Land Act changes that were proposed because the Premier realized how controversial those were. Then we had the Pender Harbour situation at the same time. We've had the Heritage Conservation Act changes have to be repealed. We've had the Cowichan ruling, which has understandably created a lot of concern for the public. We've had the Gixla judgment that has created a lot of issues in the public. And we've had salmon allocation meetings with the federal government and people worried about what's going to happen with the salmon allocations. Under the backdrop of all of that and all the discussion, and the Premier insisting he's bringing forward DRIPA amendments, although no one in this House has actually seen that legislation yet as the clock is ticking. Under the backdrop of all of that, the Premier expects us to believe that he went to witness the signing ceremony with the federal government and the Musqueam with zero briefing, zero knowledge ahead of time, zero understanding of what he was walking into. A simple question to the Premier, because I've been to signing ceremonies, First Nations signing ceremonies. They typically take a little bit of time, an hour and a half. The Premier is a busy person, after all. Does the Premier routinely make a practice of going to events, committing that block of time, and having absolutely no idea what he is walking into and about to take part in?
Mr. Premier.
Honourable Speaker, we've canvassed this for a couple of days. I've been as clear as I can be about the information that was provided to me in advance of attending the event. I understand the member is a leadership candidate. He wants his own chance to ask the question as well. But he does raise an important issue. There is clearly a difference between this side of the House and that side of the House in terms of what we understand our legal obligations are in relation to working with First Nations people. The member who asked me a question is a leadership candidate. The current leader of the Conservatives has been clear on the record. He says, quote, "I fully support reconciliation. You're either on the team or you're not. I'm on the team, and I'm focused on what we need to be focused on." I'm clear in terms of my position. Our government believes that this is core to the economic success of our province. Agreements with First Nations, including with Musqueam and others, pave the way for the $50 billion in final investment decisions that are coming forward just this year, and the $200 billion in final investment decisions that we are targeting over the next 10 years. With uncertainty, those projects will not move ahead. So if the member wants to govern this province, he says he does, wants to be the leader, does he support this work? We support the work. I attended as a witness. I was honored to attend. I support the federal government's work on this. I've reviewed the agreements. It is what the federal government needs to be doing. Does he agree with that?
Member supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, this has nothing to do with our leadership race. This is about the Premier's judgment.
You're going to be in your own leadership race
members.
pretty soon, so don't worry about it.
I can understand the NDP's fascination with parties that actually have leadership races and just drum out all the competition so that the Premier can be anointed. But Mr. Speaker, this is about the Premier's judgment and lack thereof. This signing agreement happened, ceremony happened on February 20th. 2 to 3 weeks later, the Premier acted like he didn't know what anyone was talking about. It was only after pictures actually came out. Now, it'd be interesting. The Premier is a lawyer. I can only imagine him going to court and asking a witness, the main witness for the prosecution, what they saw, and the witness keeps saying, "I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I was there. I don't know, Your Honour. I don't know. I was the main witness, but I don't know what I was actually witnessing." That is how ridiculous the defence has been from the Premier. And the story changes every day. So yes, we're going to keep asking so the public can actually get the truth. So again, the Premier danced around and didn't actually answer the question I had for him. Is this a matter of practice that the Premier goes to events that would take up significant blocks of time for the Premier, especially in his own area of Vancouver, and not have a clue what he is walking into?
Premier.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. The Chief made a personal invitation to me to attend this event. Their local MLA does not represent their interests. I was honoured to attend as a witness to the event. I received the contents of the agreements at the same time as the opposition did and the general public did. We've reviewed this on a number of occasions. What the member has completely dodged and what he is missing in terms of a leadership moment is to be clear with the members of the Conservative Party who are going to be selecting a leader, with his colleagues all across the other side, about what his position is about whether or not this work should be happening, because that is the core of their objection here, Honourable Speaker. What they put on social media, that this was a land grab, that people's private property was at risk, total fiction. Total fiction. The Musqueam chief on the record, the Facebook posting the band had to put out, facing death threats now because of what the Conservatives said.
Members.
I will not
Members.
retract that, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, members.
That is a fact. People calling up the band office saying, you should not steal our land. That's what's happening right now. The members may be uncomfortable with that, but that is the consequence of what they've been doing. So now a moment for the member to stand up and say he, like the current leader of the Conservatives, like the previous leader of the Conservatives, supports reconciliation, recognizes that First Nations title is real, and that any government, any leader would have to do this work, would be facing significant court judgments and uncertainty by failing to do this work, and that $50 billion of investment in this province would be put on the line by denying that those rights exist. It's very simple and straightforward, and I don't understand why he's not taking the opportunity.